Hi, intrepid viewers. Well, I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'm going up to Sydney. I won't be affected by the fires as fires, but the smoke is dreadful. So I've decided to do a video for you today with Dave, which I shall load up very shortly. And this video will come to you a few days after that. So I thought I'd do some topics that aren't dependent on the news cycle, because as we know, every time you have a nap and you wake up, the world's changed, right? So I'm going to read on Amy Klobuchar, because I don't think I've covered her yet, and have a look at some of the possibilities for Vice President. So in the meantime, I'm off to Sydney. The ex-husband, who's still a very good friend, we talk to each other every day on the phone, is having a very significant birthday. And for those intrepid viewers who have been around for a while, you will know that he's Polynesian, he's a Pacific Islander born in New Zealand, and New Zealand is home to the largest Polynesian populations in the world, because a lot of people come from Tonga, Samoa, Niue, the Cook Islands, and raise their families in New Zealand. Okay, so I think at one count, he had 267 first cousins or something. It's just ridiculous, the size of these families. But I love my in-laws, and I'm going to be hanging out with them for the next few days. So I have some good news, viewers. I read somewhere yesterday, what is it, 8% of those who voted for Trump have either died or are senile. So 8% just off the rolls. In the meantime, new voters have emerged. These are potential voters. Don't forget, America, all you have to do to get rid of Trump and his legacy is to vote and get everyone else out to vote. People who haven't voted for years, people who've never voted, help people register for voting, offer to take people there, make sure people are aware of the dates for absentee ballots and whatever. It's all about the vote. So in the meantime, 18.5 million new voters have come on stream. 15.5 of those are under 18 and 3 million of those are newly naturalised citizens. So they fit into a very obvious demographic. So if they can be inspired and encouraged, all will be well on the other side of this provocative madness that is going on at the moment. So Dave and I will be talking a bit more about that. So let's dive straight in. I'm using my nice cards today. These are the Next World Tarot, and I've been using them for private readings. And I'm using them today because I'm dealing with nice people. Okay, so let's have a look at what they have to say about Amy Klobuchar. So while I'm shuffling, also, I won't be doing personal readings in the next few weeks. I'll be doing videos, but not personal readings. I've cleared the calendar, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm open again, because that's my absolute favourite bit of this work, is the personal readings and meeting you all. It's amazing. It's such a privilege to do this work. I just love it. So I'll get back to you on that. In the meantime, Amy Klobuchar, she's still in the race. So with tarot, it's not so much that it'll say definitively Amy yes or Amy no so much. It's the atmosphere around their candidacy, whether there is any hope there or whatever. So there are still too many in the race. There are still too many X and Y factors to predict, you know. So let's have a look at Amy at this late stage of the proceedings. Amy, Father of the world. Okay, look, Not marvellous cards. To a certain extent, it makes it simpler in a way. She's a decent person. She's a decent candidate. Nothing wrong with her. But in the centre, 5 of Wands, which is conflict, normally in the traditional Rider-Waite. A bit too many things going on, not necessarily for her, but there's too much going on. We know how hard it was for Hillary as a candidate to even become the first woman president, even though she got the votes to prove America is up for a female president, but not ready yet. She's not perceived, I think, as quite ready yet. What she does do is she brings all sorts of people on board who aren't threatened by her, the World card. So also, in a certain way, this is the end of a cycle for her. She's throwing her hat into the ring. The chances are very small she'll get up, and I'm perfectly happy to be wrong, as you know, viewers, but I'd be most surprised. But she's still young enough and sassy enough. She might pull out of politics after this or be there in 2024. We'll look at that further down the track. Okay, so with the World, yeah, men quite like her, women quite like her, minorities probably don't have much against her. There's that feeling that she's harmless, but possibly not strong enough. She's not shy, you know, she has some good ideas and stuff, but there we go. Underneath this is why I think she is likely to move on. So with the 6 of Swords moving to a safer place, look, this is true for so many people. My first digression, viewers. Not everyone has to be in the big chair, and once someone does become president, someone you like and someone who inspires you and whatever, rare as that is, but you did have the Obama years and 2 terms, they can do less and less the higher up they go, normally, of course, unless you're the Yeti and the Yeti in the China shop and you do just whatever takes your fancy, whatever protects your own sorry ass, and take no notice of conventions, rules or laws, you're actually stopped from doing a lot. And someone like Amy strikes me, in the context of this reading, having not really looked at her before, she'd be better off not as president and doing good work, maybe as a governor or something, you know, moving to a better, safer place. You're not sitting there with a target on your forehead as president. On top, she also gets the 7 of Swords being ripped off, in the sense, I don't think the Dem, your system of primaries is so complicated, I can't believe it. No wonder people vague off. But with a really complicated primary system like you've got, the deck is stacked against her. Right, that's what I get from that. Ace of Swords, she has a very strong sense of justice, and I think she can carry great authority. I think she really has a role in public life, and a new role in public life. But I don't see her as Prez, and I don't see her as VP. Speaking of VPs, now I want to look, because there's some talk, people have said since the Georgia election was sabotaged by gerrymandering, lost votes, fake votes, faulty machines, everything. I think if Dems get in next time round, or when Dems get in next time round, I think there should be UN supervision of American elections. Enough of this state-by-state crap. You can't trust them, and it's just like letting industries police themselves. You've had however many years of letting states do it their way. You know what? in this era of international hacking and intrastate gerrymandering and stuff. Sorry, I think you have to have tested machines or go back to pen and pencils and have independent overseers from both parties brought in from other states. Doesn't have to be UN as such, but from other states, and they're drawn out of a lottery so they can't be got to ahead of time or something. Anyway, Stacey impressed a lot of people. She would be a very good running mate. She'd be a good running mate for Biden, countering the old white guy stuff. I also think if you look at that video of mine a few videos ago, if Biden gets up, he might not last the full term, let alone a second term. So let's have a look at Stacey. I'm very interested in this one. Stacey. Oops. Yes, she had this loss in the past. We know this. Eight of Cups. Four of Cups. Okay. So she has the Eight of Cups. She's sort of freewheeling, if you like, in a good way. She's very quick on her feet. Having said that, she's also someone who is ready for most contingency. She has energy and light. She's a genuine light worker. She can talk about really difficult things and make it feel possible. You can't bottle that, you can't buy it, and you can't learn it. She's just got it, right? It's a really precious thing. She's got it. So what this is telling me is she has a very significant future. Behind her is the disappointment, and that's fine because it's in the past. So Temperance, again, she can talk about quite radical ideas, but bring everyone on board, speaking to harmony, justice, but not in a flip-flop rainbow way, in a meaningful way, She has the Chariot, so moving forward after obstacles, and I love this image, you know, step out, Stacey. You notice the Republican elephants on a leash. A viewer pointed that out to me one time when I used these cards. Love that thought. All very positive. Then the offer she doesn't want. Maybe she's made the offer for VP and she doesn't want to work with Biden, or she doesn't want to work with someone else. So she might not be mad about it. That's why I drew an extra card. And then I got the Lovers, which is suggesting things can be worked out. So in other words, made the offer, and she might think, well, why are you coming to me now in this late hour? And if I agree to do it, I would prefer to do it in a particular way, and they go no, or something like that, a bit of toing and froing. But then I think there's a possibility of working together. I think she could work with anybody. I think she's highly professional. So I think they are very good cards for Stacey as VP, but also her political future. How old is Stacey Abrams, viewers? Who knows? She's got a lot of energy and life force. She'll be fine for another couple of decades. All right, now the last one I want to look at is Julian Castro. Let's have a look at Julian. And he would be a smart choice for Biden too, for all the same reasons. Certainly wouldn't hurt the Hispanic vote. But let's have a look. It would be good for him to get his trainer wheels up on that level. Let's see, has he got a shoe-in? Stacey's cards were very positive. That would suggest to me she's in the mix. It's not a guarantee she'll get it, but it says to me she's in the mix. That was that specific. So is Julian Castro in the mix? Let us look. Okay, here we go with Julian. Oh, a reversal. So rare for me, viewers. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. This is a maturing card. If you think that 10s are the end of a cycle, he's at an 8 right in the center here as his signifier. It's like he is maturing. He is definitely maturing. And will have something to offer in the future. Emotionally, he connects. People do connect to him. That surprises me a bit, but I haven't watched him a lot. But that's what I'm getting off that card. In his past, he has been seriously betrayed. Betrayed by who? I should do a quick clarifier on that. But he's had the swords in the back, but he's still around, meaning that's what I was sort of inferring with the training wheels. He will be all right. He needed to experience how rough it is in the game of politics. Now, here we have the Page of Cups, or the home of expression. I think he could actually evolve as a speaker. That's why I was surprised with this, because I find him a bit wooden. But I think people, you know, are suckers for a handsome face, and he gets away with a lot. I think this is the message to him is, don't be afraid, say what you think, that some surprises are necessary for people. So he might surprise us in the future. Here we have the Knight of Wands, or the fire starter. This is over him. So we haven't heard the last from Julian Castro. So I'm pleased to report that in a general sense, he will live to fight another day. Now, the Knight of Swords, which normally is that mad, impulsive, vengeful knight into the headwinds, in this deck, the Next World Tarot, it's the escape plan, but it was reversed. So in other words, he might have been thinking of leaving politics and going into some high-paid job or something, and there's enough muttering around this possibility of him being VP that he's put the escape plan on hold, but he's probably still got one. I have to share something, viewers. Chelsea Clinton just got a job on some board of something that pays $9 million. Now, I'm sorry, I don't care if they're Dems or GOP. This is, we all know kids of wealthy parents have assets at their disposal, including networks. I'm not naive enough to think that's going to end. It's been around for thousands of years. But you know what? I'm not happy with that. Doesn't matter what I think, but no one, I don't care how good you are at your job, no one's worth $9 million for a year's work on a contract. I mean, please spare me. And then they wonder why they get into the Hunter Biden thing. I'd like to see a meritocracy where you actually, the best person gets it, as opposed to who you know. And she might be very good. And she might give $8.5 million of it away. Bet she doesn't. Yeah. But I don't want to sit here and bitch about Chelsea. It's not her fault. I'm talking about a bigger issue. How is this different from the oligarchies? Can someone please explain? Okay. All right. You'll get this. Probably, what day is it today? I'm coming to you from the 8th, so probably the 10th or 11th. Bye for now. Love you guys.